Indeed, both teams got 2-0'd last match. Live Sandbox trying to escape the lower standings in Gen G. And here's the COVID situation. Youngjae is coming in, and Lospa will be coming up from Challengers. He's kind of been on the edge of the roster, you know, like Karis was last year, and like Bertol was for the end of summer.
We check out some of the stats. How relevant these are going to be is kind of the really interesting thing about this series.
Notice that Closer's standout stat here is his damage percentage. Now, in some ways that is impressive, but in some ways I think it's more of a symptom of Live Sandbox's lack of open here, and we hadn't really talked about her that much, as Ice will lock that one in our previous series, but we didn't end up getting the Yumi with it in the Zeri, and it'll be a Kali for Closer, one of his favorites.
Go landing one of these amazing Qs.
The rise, though.
And Chovy is going to be on the rise.
Take this if you can, as it's been since July. We haven't seen it, but it was against Live Sandbox as well.
And Lyra's comment about him as well. Compared to Lehends, he focuses on supporting the AD carry, prefers playing steadily over aggressive.
Area for being an aggressive support, having the flashy plays, as this is a winning matchup for Akali.
Theoretically. Doran, that his gun is better, even though it doesn't transform. He's got another engage to come through here. Lospa could be in trouble. See whether he actually has to throw out the flash, and the answer is no. Flame Chompers come through, and that means that KO cannot continue.
Push any further here without their jungler down here. Youngjae is backing out.
Oh no, Lospa walks into the brush, and that is so easy for the first blood. That comes.
Realm Warp up for Chovy, but he's pinned down.
Yeah, that's a big old flash in as the Q is going to connect. Nice boot back onto Croco, and that is going to spell the disengage, but they still manage to get the flash. Zenith Blade not going to connect that onto Youngjae as the flash has to come through. Solar Flare's there, and Ice might be getting his first kill of the game. Yep, he's going to grab that one for himself, as now Doran looking for a bit here, but Chovy's moved up. Croco, great safeguard to get out of the way of the rise after the flash. And the Chovy might still be able to catch up. Let's see. No, shouldn't be able to.
Chovy could have called for, he could have used teleport, but he wanted to actually bait them in, and he pinged it like 7 times onto Doran. Like, let's actually quick kill.
Oh, Superman Death Rocket connects!
There you go. Here, you'll be happy to let Doran take the hit for such a great turnaround. This is a really nice steadfast presence to prevent Kale from coming in. Forces his flash. They will end up getting this on the bottom side of the map. We weren't watching this, and it delayed a lot while Chovy was making the Realm Warp play on the top side. Goes over very far to the left here, expecting that Live Sandbox and Croco and Dove would actually go away and try to run, but they actually went right side, so they bought enough time, and Croco is able to safeguard out. And then they call for the rocket. He's like, I got him.
Yeah, I really.
He's like, it's done.
Yeah, he said good. Nice. Damn, that was clean. That was really clean. That is
so safely. Croco's over here. And it's not just Croco. Closer's coming up now too.
There are so many pings. Great sidestep there on the Q, but the kickback is still going to come down. But Chovy is going to rotate way faster. Everfrost is great. Collateral damage not quite enough, but Closer does find it. It is going to be the exit with the Realm Warp, but that's still a kill going over to the Akali.
And the next Drake fight, which is the one that ends up being Soul Point, it's going to be so difficult for Gen G as the Steadfast presence is super early here. So Croco just gets to wait it out and go behind with the safeguard. Doesn't end up getting picked for it, but it's going to be a big trade up because this is the kill back plus the real more. What they're trying to do with the Zeri pick right now is Chovy
does have flash, does use it as, oh, the helicopter. Not going to quite get the work done, and now Youngjae is going to have to use Ice to taxi his way out. Ulti comes through, and Croco dives on over, finds Lospa, who's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he will be taken down. Closer now, looking for Youngjae, and both of the new members of Gen G are just going to get wiped out.
Graves under turret here, so that's why it's just not worth it, and that's why Graves is suddenly back in the meta, I think, is because people have figured out this, Hull Breaker strategy is super successful as we watch how this one's played out. Youngjae just a little bit, out of his element here, way too far up. Steadfast presence is good, but it's not that good. Lospa trying his best to should be able to guarantee him the spot turret, and then he can go suck up all the minions in mid as well.
Oh, there's an Everfrost onto Dove. He does flash to get out of the way. Chovy very tanky.
Graves under turret here, so that's why it's just not worth it, and that's why Graves is suddenly back in the meta, I think, is because people have figured out this, Hull Breaker strategy is super successful as we watch how this one's played out. Youngjae just a little bit, out of his element here, way too far up. Steadfast presence is good, but it's not that good. And Lospa trying his best. Not quite online just yet for.
Well, Dove is going to be discovered, and Gen G do not like him taking all of their structures They'll lock him down. There is a lot of CC here, and that is going to be Doran that secures that.
Oh, there's another wave crashing through. Croco's here. They're not alone.
Yeah, that's the kickback onto Youngjae, but heroic charge now onto Kale. He's very tanky. Eclipse always gets me, not going to lie. Makes
Deep into the jungle to try to grab this red buff.
I don't know how much value it's actually going to get, but let's see. As yep, he realm warps his way in here, and this is going to be Dove going down.
Yep. Notice that already a second that this is a showed here for Chovy. Croco looks for the angle here behind Youngjae. And he ults. Steadfast presence completely blocked away by the kick there. Not much you could do about that.
Nope. You need to hit the ult. Solar Flare comes down, doesn't exactly find the stuns, as that is a great Steadfast presence as they're playing protect the Ruler. It's exactly what they need to do, but can Ruler stay alive? Croco says no. Picks up the kill. The bottom lane has been wiped out, as there's the flash over. Youngjae is also dead. Closer grabs that kill, and Chovy and Doran, nothing they could do.
So yes, it might get punished for it. Croco does not have ult.
Yeah, Phase Rush is pretty powerful. Finds the Everfrost there as well. Let's see whether they can kill Chovy, and they've
be able to take more control over the map.
As Doran, oh dear, Closer is going to dive on top of him. This guy is so strong, but he's going to miss the Shuriken backflip. Croco dives on forward as, yeah, Doran does, you know, a bit of damage in the meantime. Dove teleports.
To ramp up 4-0 and 3 on this Akali right now is Closer, one of his favorite champions to play. He's ready to carry.
Yep, and in goes Kale right into the back line. Does not have flash as Ruler trying to get Closer off him, but he's not going to be able to. This Akali is just having a field day right now. The perfect execution comes in, and Chovy finds himself back in the same position under a turret with no damage.
Chovy instead.
Yeah.
I mean, in fights like this, you have no choice but to try to group up and get prio. You have the control ward, but you're making yourself vulnerable. And even with the ult here, like, Zeri's not in this fight. This is basically a 4v5 that Live Sandbox is winning right now because they're just that far ahead. There's a good solar flare. And if Akali gets on top of Ruler, what's he going to do? Chovy can't heal for him. Just watch the solar flare come through with the Zenith Blade, and then Closer's just like, Ruler, I'll follow flash you over the wall all day. And Chovy's like, I can't stop all of them. They're all so fed.
Yeah, and Youngjae as well. I don't think he had the Steadfast presence or something to stop Kale from initiating, but it was
point.
Yeah, I mean, they're hoping for a mistake right now, and this definitely isn't one of those. That is going to be a kick onto Chovy. That's going to cancel Doran. Unfortunately, he's just going to die as the ult comes through from Youngjae, but it's too late once again. Not something that you can really blame them for, because they are coming in to really save the day here for Gen G. As now the dive is going to come forward. Chovy trying to tank things up. Losper trying to do the same thing. As look at all of the AoE coming forward. Ice. It looked like he was throwing out autos. No. Very funny.
There's 30 seconds before the Elder. They're going to look for the reset, as this is where things get really dire here. Is Chovy is tanky, but the kick away here onto Chovy means it's so much more difficult for him to peel for Doran, and even though the ult goes off here for Youngjae.
This is certainly a last-ditch effort right now as Closer dives in. They do not want to wait for any sort of flip as the Realm Warp going to be cancelled immediately. Closer just having the best time ever. Zeri locks down that kill, chased down by Zeri. He runs pretty quickly, but this is still going to be Elder. Collected by Live Sandbox. Joey's killing minions, of course.
Elder
in the mid lane as Ice should be able to take down Youngjae here. Does so very comfortably. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to steal the Elder. Nice try, though.
Elder plus, I mean, they could basically just walk across the map and just, this is just the most Chovy thing ever. I'm going to try to hit 350 before we lose this game because I want everyone to know my CS number was high at least. But there's nothing he can do here. What's he going to accomplish?
No, exactly. You may as well steal a blue buff. Just do something. Do whatever makes you happy at this point in time because it's looking very difficult for Gen G to find any way back. Mini stun onto Losper there. The Elder Drake still around Live Sandbox as they've exposed the Nexus. Here's the last team fight as Losper's going to get taken down. The big dragon will destroy him. And Chovy standing on his fountain trying to get the AoE, but the Nexus will go down whether they like it or not. And game one goes to Live Sandbox.
Might have a bit of an upset on our hands here. The question is it really an upset with some of the struggles that Gen G are having? You look at the nameplates alone, and it does feel like no one could have predicted Live Sandbox to beat. I think the drafting is going to have to put Chovy on maybe your Akali, put Chovy on LeBlanc earlier, maybe drafting not to the meta, but to the strength of Doran and Chovy and Ruler so they can carry a game here through the mid game.